Tomorrow is back, bringing you our 2022 value picks and players that are going far too low for their ADP. Now, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We're going to have our 100 subscriber special, and we are that close to it. So thank you all for that. And we're going to have the producer come out, have a couple shots with us, and we're going to have a good time. So if you like to celebrate and have a good time, definitely hit that subscribe button. Today we will be using Underdog ADP because that's real money on the line, and that's just the most accurate kind of ADP you can get. Our first guy today is going to be
Josh Jacobs,
going at running back 22 overall and an ADP of 62.7, which is like the beginning of the 6th round. Now, I'm not really sure why he is so far down in the rankings. What I'm thinking people are viewing is Zamir White's in town, and he was a 4th round running back. He would have been a lot higher if he wasn't injured going out. Now, we all know I like Zamir White as a player, but they didn't draft him to replace Jacobs this year. They're going to use Zamir White more in replacement of Kenyon Drake and take over that role, with the upside of eventually he could be that bell cow if anything happens to Jacobs. But this is Jacobs' role. He's established. He's always been a top 12 back, points per game wise, and always played like that when healthy. And he's also, a lot of people are saying he's not going to be used in the passing game like he was last year. He had 348 yards through the receiving game with 54 receptions. And they think with Adams in town, there's just not enough targets to go around. But my viewpoint on that is he proved last year he's a good pass catching running back and can be utilized that way. But at the same time, this offense is going to take a whole step forward. There's going to be more touchdowns. There's going to be longer drives with Adams. So that part for me, I'm not fearful of him losing that receptions work. If he does, he'll gain more touchdowns and still be that top kind of 12-ish running back. So having him go in like 62 overall, really in best ball leagues, I've been taking wide receivers earlier and then taking a back like Jacobs late because he's still a workhorse running back going in the 6th round. This is around guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, Gabriel Davis. I mean, he's an incredible steal for where he's going in this draft. All right, now our next guy is Travis Etienne. And I know I can't shut up about him. If you follow us, you know how much I love this guy. He's a lot like DeAndre Swift. I said this before, but DeAndre Swift, I had him as a top 12 back last year because how he was utilized in college, and he's such a good receiver. Etienne is the same. He is that Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler-like running back where he can get those receptions from any position of the field. He can play out wide as a wide receiver. He's very game script proof, no matter if they're losing or if they're winning. Now he's going 45.4 overall. It's like end of the 4th round. And the reason for this, he had 48 receptions and 588 yards his final year of college. This is a guy that I love. I am taking everywhere. I would be stupid not to have him in my top 12 like I had Swift last year. I don't care who doesn't, but he's rising in most people's rankings. A month ago, I believe he was around number 55 overall for best ball rankings. So people are slowly catching on. I would be taking this guy all day in the 4th round. This is why wide receiver starts this year is a little different, because this running back dead zone is not a dead zone right now. And although I expect him to keep rising, you need to go get him while you can, especially if you're doing best ball drafts right now. I mean, I'm not going to say too much more about him because go check out the videos I've made about him in detail. He's just a running back that is going to be a steal in every draft. All right, and the next guy on this list is quarterback Trey Lance from San Francisco. Drafted number 3 overall last year. And going at QB 11 with the rushing side he has, it makes it almost one of my favorite stacks, especially for best ball, to have when you have Kittle going in the 5th. Trey Lance is going to destroy this year. He's easily going to finish as a floor of top 12. So he's being drafted at his floor in a ceiling of a top 5 QB because we all know how much rushing matters for fantasy football. Now, Although I wasn't the biggest fan of him, it doesn't matter when he's taken number 3 overall, and he has that rushing upside. He has Debo staying there. He has Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. So he's got a plethora of weapons. Will be able to sustain a top 12 value. It's just like Jalen Hurts. I was taking him everywhere when he was going around QB 13, 14 last year for the same reasoning. Trey Lance is a guy I want on my team, and I feel safe if he's my QB1. For best ball purposes, I'm only having to take 2 QBs if I get him, so it saves me an extra slot not having to take a 3rd quarterback. But it's just as simple as this. It's his rushing upside, and in that Kyle Shanahan system, he's going to explode. Any draft you can, go get those Niners stacks. And the next guy on our list is wide receiver Michael Gallup. Now, he is coming off of a surgery and might not be ready week 1. Going 110 overall in Underdog with Amari Cooper out of town, and he is the clear 2nd target for Dak Prescott. I don't care if people think Dalton Schultz will be that 2nd target. It's not happening. Michael Gallup, everyone is forgetting, he already has a 1,200-yard season under his belt. People are taking that for granted. He's actually had a better fantasy finish than CeeDee Lamb has on his own team. Michael Gallup has an elite upside, and I can see him skyrocketing his value once he gets back on that field. So at 110 overall, this is a guy I'm targeting everywhere. He's one of my most owned guys in best ball right now. And our final guy for this episode is tight end Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders. He's going in the 4th round for his ADP in best ball right now. And this is a guy I especially like in best ball formats. When you can take an elite guy like George Kittle, Darren Waller, Mark Andrews, you don't have to pick up a 3rd tight end. You can just roll with 2 tight ends the entire season, giving you an extra roster spot where you can use it elsewhere and stack wide receivers. So getting him in the 4th round and saving a roster spot is huge for roster construction in best ball. So I really like him there. And in general, you really want an elite tight end, and you usually can't get him in the 4th round. This is because Devontae Adams is there. And just like Jacobs, people don't think there's enough targets to go around. But you need to understand, we're playing the Chiefs twice a year. We're playing the Chargers twice a year. We're playing the Broncos twice a year. These are all elite offenses, and you expect them to be shootouts. So with that, you can expect a large reception, more passing work, and more touchdowns to go around. Darren Waller could very well have his best season because the Raiders have such a condensed team. Again, this is Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Darren Waller. What we have besides that, Demarcus Robinson, this is a very condensed receiving core where only 3